to today's meeting, and we trust that the Lord will bless you the way he has always done, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you again to today's marriage clinic. Today is a very special day because we're looking at the topic that says, leave him alone, leave her alone, focus on yourself. We often hear people who are into relationships, who are into marriage, say to one another, you are the cause of my problem. Since I married you, things are not moving well for me. Everything about my life is upside down. I am not progressing. I am not making progress. My business is going down. My life is going down. My career is going down. You are my problem. In fact, you are a bad luck to me. Since you came into my life, nothing works, nothing moves. You are the cause of my misfortune. You know, we hear such things from people who are in a relationship. We often hear some people say that to one another. And today, last week, Pastor, you told us about this topic, leave him alone, leave her alone, focus on yourself. Today, I would like you to throw more light on what you mean by leave him alone, leave her alone, focus on yourself.
Thank you, woman of God. Leave her, let me just repeat, leave him or her alone. Focus on yourself. He's not the cause of the problem in your marriage. She's not the cause of the problem you are having in your marriage. You are the one that is the cause of the problem. You are the cause of the problem in your marriage. Once you begin to focus on yourself and leave him or her alone, once you start getting it right, every other thing will fall in place. Every other thing will be right. So leave her alone, focus on yourself.
What do you mean by focus on yourself? Are you trying to say in a marriage, I shouldn't complain about my husband, I shouldn't complain about my wife? How do you mean by focus on yourself? I want you to throw more light.
All right. Thank you for that question. Now, let me start by asking you some questions, and then I will explain what I mean. Have you ever taken some time to analyze the problems that you have ever had in marriage, or the problems that you are having now? Have you taken some time to analyze them? Have you discovered that there are some things that you did that actually stirred up those problems? Okay. Or have you also discovered that there are some things that you did not do that brought up those problems? You know, I mean, those things that you have, some that you have blamed your spouse, that he is a problem, she was the cause of the problem, or the things that you are blaming him now, or the things that you are blaming her now, up to now, you are blaming her, say, you are the cause of this problem. You are the cause of the problem in our marriage. Now, I want you to listen carefully. Sit down. Analyze those problems. If you have not done it before now, I'm calling your attention to it. Analyze those problems. You are going to discover something. You are going to discover that there was something that you should have done that would have averted that problem, or that's something that you shouldn't have done at all. Look at it, there are two ways. There's check whatever be the problem that you are seeing in your marriage today, whatever be the problem that you have seen in your marriage before now, there is something that you have done that stirred up that problem from that your spouse. That reason you are blaming her. You are blaming her. Oh, you are the problem. You are the problem. There's something that you did that made her make the mistake. There's something you did not do that made her make the mistake, of which, if you have not discovered it and God helps you to discover it as I'm talking today, you discover it that there's something I need to stop doing, or there's something that, I have done, or something you have done which you need to stop doing, or something that you did not do. See, this case I'm talking about, whether that thing is right or wrong. Hey, I have to say this, I have to emphasize here. It could be one of those right things you think. It could be one of those right things you saw outside. It could be one of those right things you've read in a book. But that's exactly what has been the reason for the problem. That's the reason behind the problem. And if you can sit down right now and analyze, you will discover that if you stop doing this, or if you start doing that, this problem you are blaming her for, you are blaming him for, from today, will die down. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you trying to tell us that when I discover the problem, as I'm discovering the problem, what it means is that I have to stop doing whatever it is that I'm doing that is bringing about that reaction or that action from my spouse?
Yeah, see, listen carefully, brothers and sisters. The bitter truth is that you, as the partner who identifies a problem in your marriage first, is the one both God and the society have given the capacity to stop that problem from showing up in the first place in your marriage. Let me repeat. You see, I was slow. I want you to get it. You that was the very first person that identified that problem in your marriage, or you are identifying one now. You are the one that God and society, you are the one that everything you can think about has given the capacity to stop that problem from showing up in your marriage in the first place. Or you that happen to be the first person that identified that problem in your marriage is the one that both God and the society. So I'm not just talking about Bible here, in both God and society. You are the one that has the capacity to solve that problem. Now, let me just give you some illustrations, because this is very, very important. It looks like I'm making a very heavy statement. Oh, Pastor, what are you talking about? Man of God, what are you talking about? See, listen. When you are sick, what do? It's a question. I'm sure you are giving me the answer. When you are sick, what do? You go to the doctor. You tell the doctor, I am sick. Doctor will ask you questions. Why? How is he doing you? You start explanations. What are the reasons for the explanations? You explain, I used to have headache in the night. In the morning, it stops. Oh, I used to have fever in the morning. In the night, it stops. Oh, doctor is writing. What is doctor trying to do? Doctor is analyzing your problem. At the end, he will tell you exactly what is your problem. And what next will he do? He will do what? He will recommend a medication for you. You will take the medication and you are good. Case closed. No. Did I make it? Am I right? Yeah. I think you are saying yes. The doctor is the one who identifies your problem. So because of that, he's the one that is in the position to solve your problem when you're sick. So in your marriage, you can't be blaming her for what you have identified. And you have been doing it for 5 years, if you are more than 5 years in marriage. You have been doing for 15 years, for 20 years, for 1 month, for 1 year. I don't care. I don't know. But because you are the one who identified the problem, it means that you are the one who actually knows the solution or who can find the solution to that problem, and you will solve it.
Okay,
Did you get it now?
Pastor,
Yeah.
I've heard people say that this is a lady who has lived 25 years of her life or more, or this is a guy who has spent 25 years of his life growing up in another family, and he just got married to me. And do you expect me within a space of a short period I've lived with him? Do you expect me to make a change? I kind of correct him, a particular lifestyle that he's used to. Sorry. Do you expect me to do wonders to change this man, to bring this man to stop, to correct this particular thing I've observed in his life within a short period of time? This is his life for more than 30 years or 25 years. He has been like this.
Yeah.
How do you think I'm the one who can make this change, who can correct this person, who can work on him? How do you think? I've often hear people talk about that.
Now, that's a very, very good question. And I'll have to just go. I wouldn't paint it. I have to tell you the truth. Once God has brought you into the life of that man or that woman, you have prayed. We're not talking about that now. You have heard it, you have seen it. This person is if you're a man, this is the bone of my bone. If you're a woman, this is the
flesh of my flesh.
No, if you're a woman, this is the man from whom you are made.
Okay.
You are made from him. Right. Once that has happened, we're not talking about starting, we're talking about those who are already in the marriage now, today, in this particular matter. Now, it means that once there is this message, right? The question said, you came in, with all this, and how do you expect me to change? Now, listen, let me tell you the solution. God brought you into that marriage with an assignment. And that assignment is to help him, to change him, to transform him, but not in the way we have been doing it. Some, they think they are into your marriage now to correct you. Oh, hey, you don't do this way. You have to start doing it from today. No.
Or criticize.
So the other ones, they criticize you. The other ones, they blame you. The other ones, they condemn you. And so on and so forth. All these will fail. They will fail. And if you don't take time, it will also make your relationship to fail. The love will fail. And those of you, some of you who are listening to me now, you are at that point. Your love, your relationship, the love in your relationship, the love in your marriage has failed. You are just there together because you don't want to separate. You are just there together because you don't want to divorce. You're just there together because you don't, people might say, so you are there. Now, let me tell you the solution. The solution is focus on yourself. Once you start focusing on yourself, knowing the things that you do that actually raise the problem, stir up the problem, that is point number one. And then knowing the things that you can stop doing that can stop the problem from showing up. That's part A. Now, the second part is where the answer is. Knowing the things that you can start doing. Are you hearing me? These things you can start doing. Once you start doing those things, the change will begin. I'll give you an example. Let's use ourselves. Let's use ourselves now as an example. You get to understand it more. Okay. This man that you are seeing here is a man that doesn't get things done easily. Are you hearing me? With so many visions, so many aspirations. But God gave me an achiever. So, okay, where is the money? I'll dash it out. One of the things we say we'll do tomorrow.
Every day tomorrow.
Every day is tomorrow. That's this man you're seeing here.
The tomorrow doesn't
doesn't
it
end.
doesn't really come. It doesn't really end.
Tomorrow doesn't end.
Tomorrow, every day.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Mm.
I don't want anything that give me trouble. Now, do you know what happens? She does them, or she starts doing them, and then I will come in. She starts, I come in. Sometimes she might not finish. I have the capacity to finish whatever she starts, but I don't have the capacity to start. She starts, and we finish. Even this ministry I see here. See, once you identify, say, this man, he's a never-doer. She would have decided to be saying, this man is a never-doer. He can't achieve anything. He can't do anything right. He can't achieve anything.
You know?
Our marriage would have been worse and worse. You even have seen us here. But the point is, she gets, oh no. You see, when you look, even my messages, God bless me with I speak, and I sometimes, even when you are looking at me, those of us who have seen me pastor in their church, I want to preach from my head. Even if I lead in prayer for 2 hours, 3 hours, everything is, I want everything to flow. She's the one doing the right thing. So when you have discovered the weakness, I didn't even go to the side of money, because we're not talking about finance, but let me give you an example. She is this money, every money he gets, he spends all of them, and the whole thing is gone. We are not even improve. Our life as a family is not improving. You can complain from here till next year as a wife or as a husband. There won't be any change. In fact, the thing can make you say, I'm not going to marry again. Say it's not going to change anything. The reason is because since you have identified that your spouse is the person who does not know how to do this, it means that you that identified it is the one who have the answer to the question. Politely, simply, humbly, calmly know how you can be collecting the money from her. With time, he or she will not know how to be giving you the money to keep. Me, about some years ago, when I got to know how it is, I don't keep money. What do I do? When I get money, I do what? I put in her hands to keep, because since she's the only one who knows, she knows how to keep it. I don't know. My own is that I'm interested in solving every problem. Any problem that comes now, I will solve it. Sometimes I solve, I will trick. Sometimes I give people, I will even ask myself, what have you, how many times, everything about me is give. I don't think about myself. I think about the good of others. And it would have been a big problem in our family because I have children already. How are you going to take care of them? I should get prepared for.
You know,
so she is the only one. She's the one getting them in place. Sometimes I come back home, I check the kind of wears my children are wearing. What? I will start blessing her because I wouldn't even have had the time to go to the mall or to the market anywhere to buy those things. She gets them. She gets the money and gets them. Even sometimes she buys and then I give her back. So your own is to focus on yourself and know the things that you are not doing well, or the things that you are not even doing at all, which you need to start doing today. Your marriage will be sweet and attractive. If that same marriage you have given up on, you will see the new one will just come up in the marriage today. Because for God to have brought both of you together means that he knew what he was doing. Focus on yourself. If she focuses on herself, you see marriage will be sweet. You'll be focusing to grow. She'll be focusing to grow. And then marriage will be very, very sweet.
I think, thank you so much, Pastor. I think we'll be taking comments and reactions and questions from anyone who is on the line, who will want to make a comment, ask a question, or make an observation. Mm-hmm. But while we wait for your comments and your response, mm-hmm. I would like to say that what he has just explained right now means that rather than look for who to blame, mm-hmm. rather than blame my spouse, mm-hmm. rather than complain about him, about her, rather than criticize him or her, rather than, call my family members, speak to my friends, every time I'm speaking, badly about my husband or my wife, how I married the devil, why he's not being supportive, he's not a good man, or she's not a good woman, rather than all those. He is trying to say, I should channel all those my energy, all those resources I use in doing all that. I should channel all those stuffs, the strength, everything into improving myself, working on myself first, to bring myself to the point of realization that I am actually here to help this man, but not by nagging, not by complaining, not by abusive words, not even by quarreling with him or her, but by knowing what I can do to help him. Now I have identified his weakness. He's not very good. She's not very good in this area. She doesn't really know how to cook, but there's something I can do to make her learn how to cook. I can buy books and give to her. I can bring somebody who knows how to cook and say, please teach her for me. I can take her to social place, register her for classes, and then she will learn and then improve. Rather than complain and complain and complain, or try to force change. What we call you force change on somebody. You say, I am the man of the house. You must do as I said. It doesn't come by that, people think it comes by that, but it doesn't really come by that. Some people try to subject that person, their partner, to beating. They go violent. That if you don't, I do it by force. And in doing it by force, so many have died today. So we should channel all those energy we using, blaming, complaining, stuff like that, on ourselves and get ourselves improved, get ourselves worked on. It will help us a whole lot.
Yeah, let me add to this. Now that you're on this point, it looks like we seem to be talking to one person, the person that identifies the problem, the person that have identified the problem in the marriage. No, it's not to one person alone. We're just trying to help you because you are the one who is blaming. You are the one who is complaining. You are the one who is saying, I have to leave. You are the one who is saying, oh, this man is bad. This woman is bad. So that's why we'll start from there. Habit, we must let you also know that this particular vision, this particular principle of focusing on yourself is not to one person alone.
Yeah.
What the Lord wants us to pass across to you is that two of us are in this marriage together, just like you are in a marriage, or you want to be in a marriage tomorrow, those of us who are younger ones. Listen, once two people who are in a marriage start focusing on themselves and not on the spouse, Lil focuses on herself. She checks her life. Every day, every morning, she x-rays her life and know those things that she has done, she is doing, or she wants to do that can either steer problem or has actually been the reason for the problems. Once she does that, and I do the same, you will discover that both of you, your marriage will start doing well. Why do I say that? The reason is because you are the one who has the power, the capacity to make a drastic change in your life faster than you can make in your spouse. As much as I love her and she loves me, there are times she wants to change me. I tell her to her face, even as you can't change this. That is mouth. But there are many other times that she has done many things to change me, and I changed. I didn't know how I changed. I started asking myself, is this me? It has happened to both of us. No, what I was saying, when you focus on yourself, you see the problems in your life. You can make the change faster. And that change you make will now become the change in his or her own life. Why do I say this? Because you are the one that has the strength to change yourself faster than you can change your spouse. Number two, you have the strength also to make some, like I said before, some drastic changes. Those things we call habits that have been there 30 years, just like you said at the initial time. Those things that have been way of life. Those things that have been like,
live with them.
You can change them faster than you can. I can change my own faster than I can change hers. Yes, I can decide. Although this thing is not helping you, Now, what is next thing? Point number 3 is, I am the one who can pray a prayer which God can hear faster for myself than even she can pray for me, or than I can pray and God will hear. See, this is important. We must say it. There,
A broken and a contrite heart.
a broken and a contrite heart, God will not despise. When I have identified, like me, I have identified some bad weaknesses in my life that have worked against my wife.
It takes humility to do that.
It takes humility to do that. Thank you.
God acknowledges
the proud will not take what we're talking about today, but pray that God will help you. Those who are proud will not take it. It's only a humble heart that will take this thing. By the way, we're going to look at pride. While we were preparing, the Lord showed us that pride is one of the greatest causes of marital problems. So one of these days, we're going to be coming up with it. See, there, once you have humbled yourself before the Lord, say, God, I am a troublesome man.
Help me.
My wife tells me, see, sometimes, you see, let me tell us something. This guy you are seeing here is not an easy meat to chew. You see, she said, I'm a difficult person. I look at myself, people, even my brothers, even my sisters, even my parents, they see me as a very calm person. Even my members, but she's the only one who knows how hard I am. And that's what happens to us. Sometimes we'll wrongly estimate ourselves and we'll keep blaming the other person. So when I sat down and I knew how a difficult person I am, I started asking God to help me. What are those difficult areas? I must tell you so that you will not think that the man is a thief. No, I'm not a thief. I discovered that I don't have patience. Number 2, I also discovered that I came from a family whereby we shout too much. We shout. Even when I preach, sometimes you see I'm shouting. It's a threat. So these things are problems. I don't have patience. And number 2, I discovered that my voice most times are harsh. My voice rather is most times harsh. So this, and I can go on and tell you the things I have discovered. Because of that, because I'm not patient, I take decisions fast. I make quick decisions. And when you finish making decisions, you start saying, I'm sorry. You start saying, I'm sorry. Every day you're asking me, you're apologizing. When will you stop committing sin? That's what she told me. When will you commit? Stop. So I started asking God to help me. Oh Lord, help me. Oh Lord, help me. Oh Lord, help me. Oh Lord, help me. And the Lord started teaching me patience. God was the one who trained me how to have patience. And I became maybe what you know me as today. It wasn't like that 15 years ago when we started. So in conclusion, dear brothers and sisters, when you start focusing on yourself, or if you can start focusing on yourself today, she does that, I do that, by the help of the Holy Ghost, you're going to see the change in your marriage from today. I bet you, by this time next month, I bet you, if you didn't see the change, if you see me talking in ministry, don't listen. Once you start focusing on yourself, both of you, tell her, say, from today, if you're a husband, listen to me. Tell your wife, say, from today, I will need to focus on myself and analyze my life. And I know the things that I'm doing that are making you, that infuriate you, things that get you about. Now, listen, on the last Saturday of this month, we're going to be discussing, on our practical discussion day, we're going to be looking at the things that put off men and women, things that put off ladies. Tell your wife from today, even before we get to that day, that from today, I had this message. I want to start focusing on myself, to know the things that I'm not doing right with you, things that I'm not doing that are not helping you to be the woman of God, the right woman, the virtuous woman that you were born to be, that God put you in my life to be. And I want to know them and stop them. And I want to know the ones I'm not doing, which I will need to start doing from today to make you that glorious woman. And just beg him. No, beg her, beg her, since you're the woman talking, I'm talking about the man now. So beg her, say, mommy, sweet, whatever the name you call her, say, can you just help me and doing the same thing? Our marriage will become very sweet. Now, what if the person denies?
That's the question.
That's where we started from.
Somebody's asking.
What if the person says no? As though you knew that's the next thing I wanted to say. What if the person says no? I don't care.
Or he doesn't realize.
Or he doesn't realize his or her wrong. Listen carefully. I want to teach you something. While we were speaking last night, the Holy Ghost showed us that. And I told because he asked me this same question. He said, Pastor, you want to teach the world this? She asked me the question you're asking already. Now, let me tell you something. Do you know something about rivers? River. They say this river is now polluted. Like in the book of 2 Kings chapter 2, when the land of Jericho was barren. You can go there. The land of Jericho was barren. So your marriage is barren. It might not be that you don't have a child, but love is barren, is bereaved of love. There's no love. There's no unity. There's no agreement. There's no understanding. There's no romance. That's where you are now. There is a solution. And what is the solution? Prophet Elisha asked them to give him sword. When they gave him sword, he did something spectacular, which I want to tell you now. He went to the fountain that supplies that land water.
And he cast the sword inside.
He didn't go to the water itself, the water that is flowing. He went to the fountain that supplies that land water. There is a fountain that supplies their marriage water. There's a fountain where sweetness flows from. That's where the thing polluted from. You are just seeing it in your marriage now. You are complaining. The thing got wrong. It got polluted from the fountain. What did he do? He went to that fountain and he cast in the sword and spoke the prophetic word and said, "Oh, you land, the water." I think that's what is there.
Yeah.
"Oh, you water, from today, you are not going to bring out death and bitterness again." What happened? When he cast it in at that particular point, the fountain, what happened? The thing started flowing down. And from that day, as the fresh one was coming, the healed one from the fountain was coming. He started healing the land. Bible says from that day, the land of Jericho became healed. You will read it after. So let me explain to you what I mean. River, when people see the river polluted, the river is polluted. Let's use this pen. This is the fountain where the river flows from. Every river has where it flows from. In case you don't know, I'm teaching you now. Now the river is here. It's here. Is polluted here that you are seeing me now. That's where your marriage is polluted. But this your marriage has a fountain. Now it's polluted here. You keep fighting the battle here. As you're fighting it, the bitter water, the polluted water keeps coming from this fountain. It keeps coming. And it will continue like that until the end of your marriage. You can't change it. How do you change it? That's what we're discussing. Go to the fountain and deal with it. Now, I've explained to you. Now, let me now tell you what happens. In your marriage, you are the one who have identified the problem. Start focusing on yourself first. You have now become the fountain. You that identified that problem. You are the one that God has given the privilege, the right, the responsibility. You have identified it. From today, start focusing on yourself. Leave him. Leave her alone. Focus on yourself. Know what you are doing that is aiding that thing. Two people, it can only take two people to fight. If I slap her and she didn't slap me back, it will not be called fight. It will be called that this man did what? Slapped his wife. And some of you are doing that. Please, may God deliver you. This man did what? Slapped his wife. But if I slap her, she slapped me back. What would they say? This man and his wife did what?
Fight.
They fought together.
They used to fight.
Well, they used to fight. So what that means is that you start dealing with the matter from your side. Those things that you do, are there things that I do that have been aiding this thing, that have been making this to continue? You didn't start it, but are there things that I have been doing that have been making it to continue? Or are there things that I do not do that have been making it to continue? Are there things I do that stir it up? Are there things that I can stop doing? And the matter will not come up again. Before I know it, it's going to dry. Once you identify those things by the help of God and you do it, the healing will start. It will not be, the change will not be complete. No. When you pour in that, when Prophet Elisha pour in that salt in at the fountain of the water, the change will be small. When you are seeing it, go to your bathtub, you see what I'm talking about. There's bad water and you are putting in the new water and the thing is flowing out. It's going to take time. As the new one is coming, it's pushing the bad one out gradually, 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 gradually. And before you know it, it will push all the bad out. Now, where is the bad? As it will not attract him or her to not come your way. He will not see the wrong. She will not see the wrong, and they will come your way. That's the solution there.
Yeah.
Not fighting.
Yeah, thank you so much. So you have to please focus less. In fact, do not focus on whatever the person is doing that's bringing about the issue, but rather the whole energy you use in getting angry, channel it to yourself and ask yourself, how do I improve myself to bring myself to the point of these things not moving me when he does them, when she does them, you know, how do I bring myself to the point of ignoring these things and then trying to do what I can do best to see that there is peace. You know, when somebody keeps offending, and you're not reacting, he's not seeing the reactions on you, he's not seeing the effect. Rather, you are trying to show love, you're trying to be peaceful. One day he will come to himself and say, she will come to herself and say, what a fool I have been all this while. So you mean I've been doing this thing? And maybe you will start talking to him little by little. You know, you did it like this, but this is the way I feel it should be. Maybe she is very good at scattering the house, doesn't arrange house very well. And you come back, you keep making things happen. You keep making things happen. She's saying them. Definitely one day she will come to her senses to know that, oh, this is really how my house is supposed to be. Someone has been taking the pains to be doing them. The particular thing that one does in marriage that stirs up strife, you see yourself getting angry, but you have to work on yourself. It will take you time, because I have seen some things happen in marriage that I get angry whenever they happen. It took me a lot. You discover that you are the one getting angry, you are the one being affected here. Most times your health goes down because you are just thinking about one thing somebody is doing and what somebody is not doing right. Provided he comes home and he's alive and he's strong, nothing happens to him, I'll welcome him, you know, and you're praying for change. You're not getting angry. One day he will realize himself, or something can happen to him outside that will make him to decide that he will always come home early every day. It's not your battle to fight. Your own is to try and see what you can do to help yourself not to be offended at what he does, and then try to accommodate him or her in that his weakness or her weakness, and not making it an object of quarreling every day. No, you know, when we try to do all these things, there are some things we lose. We have a lot of things to suffer. Whenever we are in a relationship, we keep blaming our spouse for whatever he or she does that is not right, that is hurting our feelings. The more you talk about them, the more pains it brings to you. The more you complain, the more you criticize, the more you blame. Oh no, it's a whole lot. It's going to have a negative impact on the person who is the recipient here. Even though the person may be at fault, but it has a lot to do in a marriage. Before you knew it, will start, there's quarrel in marriage. There is misunderstanding. Husband and wife, they are fighting. You know, it doesn't just start with fighting. It starts with little disagreements, things that don't make us happy. By the time we talk about them, it ends in quarrel. So those things are not going to help. It will make whosoever that you're complaining about, you're always criticizing, you're always blaming, the person will begin to feel so inferior, you know, that you can even kill whatever the person has, the endowment God has put in him or her. You will silence him or her, that even to function will be very difficult. The person won't even know that there's something he or she can do, you know, that he has got some talent, some gifts God has put in him or her that he can use to help your marriage. You know, the person begins to feel so less human. Oh, I don't want it. I am not worthy. You know, and when you make your spouse feel unworthy of having you or being in your life, is a problem. Is a problem in marriage. And another thing is that the one's sense of trust can be broken. And when somebody's sense of trust is broken, what do you think happens? If a sense of trust is broken, it is replaced with a sense of anger and resentment.
Because of consistent
blame, complaint, criticism.
Yeah.
I never do well. You don't do anything right. Even the things that are right, the president does, you don't just acknowledge them. You don't encourage. No, it will be replaced with sense of anger, resentment. You see people, they don't want to talk about it. This marriage is killing me, it's choking me. Then when we blame too much again, we can cause emotional, it's not just physical abuse, emotional abuse,
mental health problems,
emotional abuse. Somebody is going down and yet is living with you as your partner. It doesn't go down well. And when there is emotional abuse, it brings a very toxic relationship. And I know you wouldn't want to have that. Who would like to have a relationship that you're coming home, instead of your heart to be filled with joy that I'm going home to meet my family? Rather, you don't want to go home. You see people, they stay more outside than they stay in. They stay. They will just want to come when everybody's asleep. They sneak into their room, sleep. In the morning, they wake up, dress for work, and leave the house again. Because the atmosphere of the house is no longer conducive. God will help us.
Yeah, they are very, very important. We might be tying it up there. For those who don't say, he doesn't stay home. Women more. I think that's what people say. Yeah. See, let me tell you something. No man runs away from a place he's loved and accepted, a place he's king, a place he's Lord. Now, if your man is having that problem, check, if you are the lady, if your man is the king in your life, in that home, in that marriage, is he accepted? Is he loved?
Respected?
Is he respected? Is he honored? Does he have peace?
When he's there, do you acknowledge he's there? You're just busy with yourself. Now that internet has kept everybody busy.
Do you have romantic times? You have sweet times? My kids can know that once I'm at home and I'm sitting, I sit with my wife and I'm holding her, I'm touching her, I'm carrying her, playing with her. The point is that I miss that time. Sometimes I'm walking outside and I remember that I'll leave work and I close work for that day, I come back. If the home is the best place for him, that's the sweetness he gets in the home, bigger than the one he gets that place he has been going to. That place becomes second, becomes first. You need to know it. So it means that the home is not the first. The home could be in rank, might be the second or third or fourth in the places that make him happy. So it's that place he gets happiness. But if he gets happiness at home, my dear sister, he will be home. Number two, for women, you don't, even when I'm home, you don't help. You're not sweet to me. You are not close. That's why I decide to be outside. I want to be inside. I'm talking about women now. She's been in the kitchen. You as a man, is that woman a queen in your heart, in your hand? When you come back, does she feel that love? Does she feel that closeness? Is there anything she misses when you're not there? That is what will bring two of you together. So we're dealing with it both sides. It's not only the man. The woman might not go out, but she's in the house, but you can't see her. Everybody's missing her. There's a gap in the family. So in conclusion is the things that you are doing, things that you are not doing, that are actually bringing these problems. You can only know them when you leave her alone, when you leave him alone, and focus on yourself. You will see from today, the change will begin. It might be minimal, I must tell you, but keep doing it. After 1 week, after 1 month, you will start seeing it might be a minimal change. Keep doing it. My wife asked me the question. I told her change starts from 21 days for an adult. What an adult has been doing since, for him to change, it must be 21. You want to change your sleeping pattern, 21 days. Weather, to everything about your body, it takes 21 days for you to start changing. You give the person 21 days. So don't change, you start doing it. And from 21 days, I bet you in the name of the Lord that you start seeing changes.
Okay. Please, for people who say I am married to the devil, you are the reason why my life is not moving forward. Stop saying all those negative things about your spouses, because as you're saying it, that is what you're having. That is why you keep having problems. That's why they keep moving backward. When you see you are living with the devil, you continue to see her as a devil, and she will continue to act, him or her will continue to act exactly as you say. There is power in spoken words. Even the Bible told us about it. So if you know you don't want to see negative things about your spouse, please keep speaking positive things about them. The positive things you speak are the things that will start happening to you. The negative things you speak about are also the things that are going to be happening to you. So why choose the negative ones? Even if he's bad or she is bad or she's the devil, do I need to say it? I can use my words to correct what I receive. So let's be careful what we say about each other, and God will help us. Because the reason why most marriages are suffering, are in trouble, as if they are struggling, is because the parties, the two parties are not together. One of them is always thinking that this one is my problem. He is my problem. You are not looking at yourself. You don't want to think about yourself, how to change. You're looking for whom you will change. And because you're not changing the person, it becomes that you're married to.
Frustration comes in. You're right. Because when you want to change him or her, he or she will resist you, and then there'll be frustration. Yeah. And when that frustration comes, violence will always set in. So why not think about changing yourself? Once you focus on, ask God to help you. There's nothing you want to change in your life that you cannot change. There is nothing that is unchangeable in your life by God's help. Even addiction, you can change it by the help of the Holy Ghost, and the change will begin. Before you know it, the person will start following. There's nobody on earth, there's nobody you will give cool water when it is hot. You will say you should give him the hot one. And there's no one you give hot tea when it is cold, like in Canada, when we have -50, and the person will say, go and give me cold water now, let me pour my body, let me know. It doesn't happen that way. It's natural. Once you start doing the right thing, remember what I said, know what you are supposed to do as at when due. Not do. My wife and I will have problem. What's the problem? Is that most times I do things at the wrong time. I do them when the thing has passed, because I wait, I delay so much. I want to be sure before I do, and those being sure sometimes make me, the thing will pass.
Time will pass. You know?
So she will always blame me, say these things. So she asked me, have you done this one? I said, no, tomorrow. So ask me again. So when I now know that I'm scared that she's going to scold me, she's going to ask me again, what will I do? I will go and do that thing so that I will beat time, because I know if I didn't beat time, I won't be able to face her. So that's it. The change is starting. The change is starting. See, when I was in school, oh my God, you know the day I packed my bags, that's the morning when I travel. So now if I'm not married, there is a problem. So she will help me to pack on time. I want to pack that morning. I don't know why. Even when I say I will start on. So once you identify some of these in the life of the person you are going with, you start helping. Before you know it, the change will begin. Amen.
So leave her alone. Leave him alone. Focus on yourself.
Next week is Singles Important Day. Next week we're looking is the Singles Important Day. And that is not to say married ones are not coming. No, it's for all of us. Next week we're looking at marriage is sweet, so it's for everybody. But we want to help our singles know, those who are scared, who are afraid, those who are not so there, tell them that marriage is sweet. And at the end, we're going to be praying together for them and for every marriage, as we used to do. So next week is very, very important. Marriage is sweet. That's the topic for next week. The last Saturday of this month, we're going to be looking on the door of our practical discussion. We're going to be looking at things that put off ladies and things that put off men. We will discuss it. It looks like everything we're talking about this month is pushing to that particular topic. Things that steer, this thing that put this woman. See, once you do them, the woman will get angry. You see, even if it's even this one here, even me, those things that get men angry, those things that get them off, get them overboard, rather. So we're going to be discussing them on that day. God is preparing the vessels that will come up on that day. I'm sure you are preparing. Invite your friends, and I'm trusting that God is going to bless all of us in Jesus' name. Amen. Well done today. Next week, singles, remember, and it's a very important day. And we parents too, we married ones, it's also our day. All right, we're praying today. We pray for